Since the massive eruption of a volcano in Pompeii, various discoveries have happened, and the recent discovery of a 2,000-year-old mural has surprised everyone. Colorful images discovered in the ancient necropolis of Cumae near Naples indicate that the settlement was somehow tragically unhip, or the elites had a penchant for the retro. So what do the images indicate, and how is it related to Pompeii? Hello and welcome again to The Abandoned Archaeologist, the channel to learn all about ancient archaeological findings. Today we'll discuss the discovery of a 2,000-year-old mural that changed history and revealed various secrets of Pompeii. But before we begin, to get your attention, we have a question you can answer at the end of the video by watching it. Pompeii was part of which large empire? Write down your answer in the comment section and see if you got it right. Here we get into the video. A newly discovered 2,200-year-old tomb in Cumae's ancient necropolis contains figurative paintings in excellent condition. The sheer quality and color of the images suggest that the people buried within belong to the elite. One image depicts a naked servant holding a jug of wine and a vase. Archaeologists believe that other walls depict banquet guests, not least because some more elements of the festive meal can be distinguished. So far, approximately 400 tombs have been excavated in the Cumae necropolis, 80 of which are funeral monuments. Most of the tombs were themed in white and red for this chronological phase. The funeral boxes in a tomb excavated a few years ago were painted in imitation marble or onyx. However, only the tomb discovered in June had figurative scenes painted on it. This suggests that the deceased residents of the decorated tomb belonged to high society. What does the tomb contain? The decorated tomb there had 3 beds and presumably once housed 3 bodies, but they need to finish the anthropological study before they can be certain. When asked when the paintings were most likely created, with the first burial inside or possibly later, the archaeologist explains, the paintings date from the tomb's construction phase. It's only one positive intervention. According to the discovery, the necropolis was used from the Archaic period to the early medieval period. The tombs of Cumae's dead were raided in the 19th century, according to the team. Despite this, the archaeologists could recover enough human remains as well as funerary offerings like bone and bronze elements of a wooden box, alabaster perfume vases, game dice, and game pieces, etc. to date the tomb to the 2nd century BCE. With a scenario that the robbers disturbed the tomb, it's fortunate that the murals were so well preserved. Archaeologists removed the fresco and some fragments found on the ground while reassembling the decor like a puzzle. Moreover, Cumae was a little behind the times, or perhaps the dead had a penchant for the retro. But according to the archaeologists, the art's subject matter needed to be outdated by a century. Archaeologists said this is the first tomb in Cumae with figures from the 2nd century BCE. The other tombs with paintings discovered in Cumae date from the late 4th century to the early 3rd century BCE. The setting was also the theme of the banquet, or preparation ceremony, is widespread in the oldest tombs, she says, describing it as unfashionable for its time. However, this Campania's first 2nd century BC tomb to document this motif. Why was the servant naked? Regarding the naked servant, the ancient Romans considered nudity a natural state. Furthermore, art that we would call erotic today was not so common in the homes of the upper class. Nearby Pompeii and Herculaneum, where the ash from the Vesuvius eruption in 79 preserved not only bodies but also art brimmed with erotic imagery. Not a little of it praised the phallus, such as the exquisite sculpture of the goat god Pan copulating with a lady goat lying on her back discovered in Pompeii. However, the depiction of a naked servant with a vase is relatively mild compared to that piece, prompting the British Museum to include a parental guidance warning when displaying it. Sexual activity was the culture of Pompeii. Pompeii was well known for its intense sexual life and wild parties. Because of this way of life, many works discovered from that era are extremely graphic, with strong doses of excessive sexual content. Let's not forget that after the city was rediscovered in 1599, it was buried for nearly another 150 years before King Charles of Bourbon, King of Naples, ordered the proper excavation of the site in the late 1740s. Despite their erotic nature, these images have been considered idealized versions of sex. Thus, it's been proposed that the lives of the prostitutes at Pompeii's most famous bordello, Lupanare, were far grimmer than the erotic images suggest. As a result, it should not be so surprising that the primary theme of the discovered paintings is sex and alcohol consumption. About Cumae town. Cumae, according to ancient Greek sources, was the first colony town established by the Greeks on mainland Italy in the 8th century BCE. According to modern scholars, the ancients were not the first to settle in that welcoming seaside location. They built on an earlier Iron Age settlement of indigenous people. Poseidonia was another powerful Greek city founded in Italy, where archaeologists discovered monumental construction and precious ceramics imported from Greece and unusual tombs. Cumae would become a prosperous city, controlling its area of the coast and growing to be roughly twice the size of Pompeii thanks to its fertile environment. This seaside hamlet on the Mediterranean coast, 25 kilometers or 15 miles east of the modern city of Naples, was also the home of the fabled Cumaean Sibyl, a prophetic priestess of the Apollo cult. While Sibyl oracles were as common as dirt in the ancient world, the Cumaean version rose to prominence in ancient Rome, possibly due to the proximity rather than clarity or accuracy in prophecy. A visit by the Trojan royal Aeneas to Cumae's dread Sibyl was described by no less an ancient authority than Virgil. Aeneas had responsibilities as the son of Aphrodite and the ancestor of Rome's founders, Romulus and Remus, while the other young men abandoned the ship to have fun, including despoiling the woods. There's no record of what happened next, but we know that the newly discovered tomb in Cumae housed humans and was complex, with a series of vaulted burial chambers made of volcanic tuff. Cumae was known for more than its wealth and terrifying sibyls. The city's magnificent temple to Zeus, the god of gods, was converted into a basilica during the Christian era. The city would survive until the 13th century, when soldiers, on behalf of the king of Sicily, tore down its walls and destroyed them for good. Paintings could underscore a form of globalization. Despite the obvious themes of the paintings, experts contend that they can highlight how the Romans interacted with the outside world, resulting in globalization. The study, as per the American Journal of Archaeology, appears to agree with expert suggestions and asserts that artifacts discovered in the household's garden and the building's elaborate architecture, including the water installations, mimic the diverse nature of the Roman Empire. According to archaeologists, in this particular assemblage, rather than attempting to make a statement about Isaic rituals or Roman politics, the house owner appears to assert a cosmopolitan identity as an empire citizen. When people represented distant lands and domestic art in Pompeian houses at this time, they also tried to figure out what it signifies to them to be the participants in the Roman Empire. Also, the paintings of the Nile within the Pompeian villa provided the owners with an exclusive opportunity to come into contact with shifting local and imperial Roman identities and to reproduce a microcosm of the world they lived in. According to the study, people sometimes imagine phenomena like globalization to be the creations of the modern world. But in fact, there are many parallels for the cross-cultural interactions that are also very much a part of our own contemporary world if you look at the Roman Empire, the study's researcher concludes at the end. So what do you think of Pompeii's hidden history? Has the discovery revealed all the secrets? Let us know in the comments below. And the answer to the question we asked is Pompeii was a Roman Italic town that gradually fell under Roman control. So do share your views and subscribe now.